what is the 24 Hours of Lemons? It's an endurance racing series, league. I don't know how you want to classify it, but you go endurance racing with a $500 car. And there's loopholes and $500. It's a weird dynamic of how you come up with a $500 car, but you endurance race it. So it's endurance racing on a budget, and the lowest budget that you can make an endurance race with. That's what the Lemons is about, and that's what I'm hoping to propose here today. Well, so I'm having a bunch of my friends, and because I run my own business, a couple customers come in, and we are going to, or I'm going to introduce the 24 Hours of Lemons and see if they want to join into a race team and just go on from there. That's what today is all about. We just got done kind of turning my shop into a Lemons proposal theme, and we'll see what happens. I'm under a lot of stress just trying to get everything all set and ready. It's difficult for me to just ask people to spend money, but that's kind of what I'm doing in a roundabout way. And I'm hoping everybody has fun. So we just go from there. So anyway, what we're going to do, there's a lot of questions about what Lemons is and what it's about, and so on. It's easier for us to just watch these videos, and it'll answer a lot of questions, especially the first video. So it's 15 minutes long. Let's watch it. We're going to lower the door down so you can see the screen, and we'll just go from there. Alright, so I'm going to flip the lights on, and I would like everybody to just rotate your chair 90 degrees to look over here. The main reason why I want you all here is the more people we have involved in this, the less overall it's going to cost. I can't support the entire team myself. I just can't financially do it. So I'm estimating we all agree on a few makes and models of cars, because it's whatever's going to be available. Obviously, we would like to have something with a V8 just to have a little more horsepower. We would like to have a rear-wheel drive just because it drives a little bit better, and we would like to have a manual transmission. I like the manual transmission not because of manual shifting, but if they break, they're easier to repair or replace. Okay, so.
Hey, can I make a quick suggestion?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're not to that point yet.
Yeah, I figure out how you put it.
Get that in the parking lot.
So I looked up. So as you guys heard, you guys didn't see it, but the first video when he was talking about the prices of the car, we can get a car that costs more than $500. We can sell the unusable stuff. We're going to strip this car. Carpet, seats, radio, dashboard, HVAC. All of that stuff can get removed and then sold. Whatever money we get back brings the price of the car down. So it's kind of like a loophole that everybody exploits. So the car, I'm estimating $2,000. Okay? I've looked around at roll cages. You can buy a kit. They start at $350 and just go up. But I pictured one at around $550. Okay? We need a fire system. All these things I'm going to write down is a requirement for the car to have in order to race. So we have to have a roll cage, a fire system, fire suppression system, which is $450. We have to have a certified racing seat, which is another $450. We have to have racing seat belts, and that's $150. The seat hardware, now we could, if we were all the same height, which none of us are, we could just bolt the seat in one place and be done with it. But we're going to have multiple drivers, multiple heights. You got to move that seat up. So the seat hardware is a little pricier than usual, and that's $120. Seat belt hardware, they have to be, they have a requirement of exactly how the seat belts have to be bolted to the car and reinforced. So we got to have special seat hardware. That's $100. We got to have cage padding, roll cage padding, $50 for that. There is a, you have to have a kill switch, and they will test that when you go through inspection. You ring the car up to 3,000 RPM, hold it there, they reach in or you reach in and kill the switch, and the car is supposed to stall out. It's supposed to shut off everything. So it's a heavy duty switch. Surprisingly, it's fairly cheap at $50. And then miscellaneous, I put that at $300. All right, that comes to $42 and $20, $220 just to start racing the car. All right, that's car budget. We are also, get to this other part. There's one more thing I want to add to that, but it's not a need. It's more of a want, and it makes our lives a little easier. We have to communicate when we're racing. If we break down in the middle of the track, or we have something going on with the car, or losing oil pressure, or whatever, we got to tell our pit. They are okay with just reader board, old school reader board. Come in lap 5, you know, that kind of stuff. But that's not going to work on a road course. The road course that we're going to be at is in Shelton. It's 2.25 miles long. I think there's 14 turns in it, and there's various elevations as well. So they have what is called a long track radio kit. So we can radio car to person, but that's $800. All right, it's not a necessity, but it's something that would make our life a little easier. So that's why I did not include it in this number. All right, so that's for the car.
You can't just use walkie-talkies?
You know, I would be, you can, but walkie-talkies just don't have the range or the speech. It's cloudy. We could get away with a CB radio system. I worked with a guy who did racing. That's what his communication system was just CB radio. It gets a little bit farther, but it's not as good communication, but it still worked. So, you know, we can have tiers with that and bring that number down.
You could use a cell phone.
We could. So what's it going to cost us individually? So a crew is 4 people. That's 4 drivers and or crew. That is $1,675. That includes the entry fee. It includes 1 car, 4 drivers. That gives you the insurance on the track, ambulance, Medicare or medical response, and all that. That fee covers all that. Okay. If you want to add a driver, it's an additional $225. If you want to be part of the team but just don't want to drive, and that's great, that is a crew, that's $75. Okay? The crew gets the same benefits as the driver, just not drive time. All right?
Practically buying a pit now is what you're doing.
Yeah. Each driver has to purchase a Lemons competition membership, and that's $100. All right. And if you have friends or family, or if you just want to watch, you don't want to be a part of the crew, it's $30. The $30 covers the entire event, so both days. Where we're going to be racing is in Shelton, and they don't do a 24-hour session. It's 8 hours on a Saturday and 8 hours on a Sunday. I think racing has to stop like at 7 p.m. or something like that. Thursday is, I believe, a test day. Friday is your check-in and your tech inspection and your BS inspection. So, any other questions so far?
Give them a quick, small rundown of BS inspection.
BS inspection is the best part. This is just awesome. So, we have to prove that we paid $500 for the car, right?
$500 my ass!
$500 my ass. So, they already have the mindset that you are going to cheat on that. Okay? Not only do they have the mindset that you're going to cheat on it, they expect you to cheat on it and try to bribe them. Bribes are welcome. I am not making this up. There's literally a table behind these judges that they put all their bribes on. Food, liquor, car parts, charity donations. There's a charity that's involved with them. They love all that. So that is their bullshit. BS is short for bullshit. It's that way. The more freak out, weird car that you come up with that you want to race, the better you're going to get through the BS inspection. They're just going to be so wild about it. They're just like, okay, just go. Be done with it. The better the theme. You guys saw some of the videos of some of these teams. Actually, you didn't see the videos. There are teams that come up with themes. The best one that I can come up with, has we all seen the movie Super Troopers? Or, yeah, Super Troopers, right? We all seen that, where the guys in Vermont, they're police, state patrolmen. You dress up like them, make a car that looks like their patrol car, and just play the part. There's the best car that I've seen is based on the sriracha sauce or the rooster sauce. They painted the entire car red with the white lettering and put a green cap on top of it. Awesome, awesome look. All right, so that's the BS inspection. What I would like us to try to do today, if this is what we're going to all be part of, is kind of, do we want to meet once a month, every other month? My goal for racing is October of 24. So we have a year and a half to get a car ready. So there's no stress. It's a low-key environment. My goal here on top of everything is just to have some fun. That's all this is about.
I think once a month would be good. It doesn't have to be a long meeting.
Unless you want to be
Yeah.
A little party out of it, because that's
Yeah, right.
kind of what I've noticed that 24 Hours of Lemons is encouraging, is getting people together, hanging out,
Right.
making friends, making old friends, coming together, you know, and using creativity. So you get not us, not drivers, not crew, the entire families coming together to paint the car, to come up with a theme for the car.
They have potlucks at night to feed the crew and cast and whatnot. So, I mean, we'll be joining a family. Everybody helps everybody. It's just a fun time.
What I'm noticing is if you're here for competitive racing, then you're in the wrong area.
That's something good to bring up.
Yeah.
So, let's just say that we pulled up with a Mustang GT that has just got 300 plus horsepower. We've checked it all out. We're okay getting the negative laps and whatnot. And we are driving the butt wheels off this thing. They will black flag you. They will penalize you. Penalties are the hilarious thing on this whole thing. They have one called the Bart Simpson. I love it. You and your team have to write with a Sharpie on your car 100 times, I will not do whatever, you got black flag. All right? Another one, they will make you sing karaoke, your whole team, right? Another one is they will saran wrap you to your car. On the top of the car, give you a bullhorn, and you have to drive through the pits telling people, don't do whatever I did. So the penalties are hilarious, but they're there to for fun.
So you don't get any seat time till the car. Till that weekend, right? I mean, there's no practice, there's no seat time, other than Thursday or Friday.
Pretty much. I do, my thoughts here, and this is not a dictatorship, so we can change, but my thought here is I need a trailer anyway for my own personal hot rod. I'm gonna buy a trailer so we can have a trailer to go find a car and bring it back. I have room to store the car in my backyard, so I can keep the car here. It will be safe and whatnot. And whenever we want to work on it, we either push it. I have a winch under my bench, and we can winch it into the shop and work on it then. So there we go. What do y'all think?
I'm in.
His original goal, when we're talking about this, is just to be able to make it both days.
Yeah,
Not win, but like make it and not have it like die in the first couple hours.
Yeah.
I want to finish both days. That's the goal.
Total 16 hours run.
Yeah.
I think we need to also kind of understand is the safety of the car. Safety is their #1 priority. In fact, let's also talk about what is it to be a driver. A driver has to have a certified helmet. Your motorcycle helmet, your scooter helmet is just not going to cover it. My scooter helmet isn't going to cover it, but so you have to have a certified helmet. You also have to have a Hans device or a head and neck device that holds you. If we're driving a convertible, you have to have tethers on your arms. You have to have a full fire suit. There's a fire suit, and then they have a layer suit with fire underwear. I'm just going to get a fire suit myself. But you have to have also the fire gloves and the fire shoes. They're very adamant about that, and they make you prove it. You have to have we touched that, the fire suppression system. You have to have a nozzle that faces the driver and a nozzle that faces the engine bay. More is better, but 2 is only the requirement. The roll cage is 6-point cage with door bars. I have a welder. My welding is not enough to trust people. I would never weld on a customer's car just because my skills aren't there. I do have a friend, my neighbor across the way, Colby. We have somebody in the neighborhood who's a certified hardcore welder. I talked to him and he's willing to weld, but we're gonna have to pay him. So, but he's available if need be.
To note, because safety is the top priority, when they are trying to come up with a $500 worth value of your car, the roll cage, not included.
Yeah,
Fire
none of the
suppression,
safety stuff.
not included. So it's really, you know, the car plus some of the engine stuff to...
Cage, fire suppression, tires, brakes are not included in that $500 limit. It's just the car.
You need to be safe, you need to be able to stop.
You don't. If what I read in the rules is the car, if you keep the fuel system stopped, you don't have to do anything else to it. If you modify the fuel system, particularly if you put in a fuel cell, you have to build a firewall around the fuel cell, which is just more cost, but doesn't include in the deal. So yeah. Anything else? The meeting went really good. Everybody was receptive to the idea of joining a 24 Hours of Lemons race team. Nobody felt or gave the impression that they were put off. They were all engaged. A lot of questions were being asked. We all laughed. We all told jokes, and it was a good. It was like a team boost, and I can see us working all well. We got the right players involved at least for the first meeting. We'll see how this plays out over the long run, and hopefully it'll work out. You know, only time will tell, and we have a year and a half before we actually need to go racing. So we'll see what happens.